It's another hand from this Arizona tournament that I was playing. It's a $400 buy-in. We're a little further along now. You don't have to have heard the previous hands to appreciate this, but they do add a little flavor and spice to this one too.
Go look at them. Go look at them. Give us a view.
Yeah.
By the way, while you're here, like and subscribe, huh? Do a little of the stuff the YouTubers ask you to do, please.
Yeah, do the things. Do the things. All right, so we're at the 500, 1,000 level here. I start the hand with 37 blinds, 37K. I have jacks in early position. I open to 2,200.
Got that
middle
200.
position. This is how I operate. Middle position. By the way, I was opening smaller than everybody else. Everyone at the table is still over 65 years old. Middle position, who is the fun player from the last two hands that we did table talk on, calls the cutoff calls, the button calls, and the big blind calls. So it's like, well, I hope we flop okay, or we're just gonna have to. We're gonna check fold a lot, I think, because this is hard to win with one pair and it's just jacks. Okay.
Are you the effective stack?
No, there's some smaller stacks. The fun player has me covered. The main players in the hand, I am the effective stack for the main players in the hand. Okay. Which is 37K to start the hand with. So now I got 35K. Okay. The flop is 10-9-3 with two diamonds. We have the jack of diamonds in our hand. Checks to me. What do you want to do?
I mean, this is an obvious bet. It's like you get raised, it sucks. But if the fun player raises, obviously, I think just to simplify things, and this pot is meaningful to us at this point, we jam on him if he raises. Mm-hmm. If somebody else raises, we make an assessment based on who they are and what we've seen from them in the past. So you made it 2,200 and you got 4 callers? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. So there's 6,000 in the pot, basically.
Yeah,
maybe 6,500. 6,500.
If you got 4 callers, there's more than 6,500.
You're right.
10K.
There's 75.
There's like 11K in the pot.
Oh, you're completely right. I'm so sorry. I'm wrong. Okay. You're right.
Great. I love it when you say that. So I want to go more than half pot because it's wet. I know we block a lot of the wetness with jacks with a jack of diamonds, but it's super wet. So I think 7K, 7,500 feels good.
Okay.
I mean, I think we can get top pair to call. I think we can fold out some stuff that's a little scary to us, like king, queen. Seems good to me.
Okay. I went smaller than that. I went 4K. I did more like traditional sizing, partially just because there's so many players in the pot. I didn't think it was as necessary to bet big. They sort of police each other a little bit, where like someone can't get too loosey-goosey with all the players behind them and things like that.
The counter to that is that you can create a cascade of calls, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But if I don't know. In this tournament, I don't know if 7K doesn't create a cascade of calls anyway.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Like, there was a lot of people saw a lot of flops and a lot of turns. But you could be right. 7K might just be better. It is certainly a wet board. I decided to bet smaller, sort of like a, let's see what the world does with this bet, because I don't know what I'm going to do after this. Like, I just don't know yet what I think about anything yet. The cutoff calls, not the cutoff, middle position calls, which is the fun player from the last two hands, of course. He always calls. And then the big blind calls. A guy who, by the way, has been V-pipping at like 80 to 85% as well. So both him and the fun player have been in every pot the whole time. The guy on my right has been constantly saying, these guys are heads up every time. This is the 30th time in a row. Every hand. It's like driving me crazy.
So there's not a lot you can do to range them from a pre-flop perspective, at least. You can maybe assume a little bit of post-flop connectivity, but pre-flop they could have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and even post-flop they could still be a little wide. Especially the fun player, more likely so than the other dude, but they both like call a lot, on the flop. They see so like I feel very comfortable that I'm almost always ahead of these two guys when they just call on this kind of a board, right? So I feel good about that. I'm really glad these are the two guys who called me. Anyway, come play with us on Clubs Poker. They have tournaments, they have ring games, and a 100% bonus if you use the code POKERGUYS or use our link in the description.
It is a lot of fun on Clubs. I have been playing on Clubs, and I have been genuinely impressed by their software. They have great games all the time, and redemptions go direct to your bank account. There's no crypto involved, none of that BS. It's a US-based company. Come play with us on Clubs. We'll see you there.
Okay, so the Queen of Hearts is the turn. So we turn open-ended. There's still two diamonds out there. What do you want to do?
My main concern is King-Queen right now.
Yep.
Queen 10 and Queen 9 obviously are also problematic.
Sure.
I think this is kind of a check, figure it out spot. We check, we see sizing, we see if we get a check around, we make a new assessment, I think is what we do.
Right. I had a similar thought. Like, I was thinking, like, it's going to be hard to get me to fold this hand, but I'm going to check. It feels like starting with the check is the right play.
Yeah, anyway. if we get jammed on effectively after we bet, it's a really weird, dumb spot that we hate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's see what, like, I'm going to give them a chance to do stuff. So the big blind checks to me, of course. I check my open ender and jacks, and the fun player in middle position does bet. He bets 6,000.
Tiny.
So yeah, because I bet 4K on the flop, and so 12K went on the flop. There's like 23,000 in the pot, probably like 22 and change. He bets 6, and the big blind calls the 6.
Okay, I'm not as concerned about a queen anymore with the sizing from the fun player. I guess the big blind can have a queen, but that's unlikely. I think the big blind is more likely to have connected with the flop and be loosey-goosey and also have a good price and think that maybe you're just done with the hand. All of these things.
Yeah.
So I think you're thinking of jamming for value here. I think that's what you're thinking of doing. I think you're thinking you can get called by a 10. You can get called by Jack 10. Jack 10 is the dream.
It's hard. I have 2 jacks, but it's possible.
Yeah. And did you say there was 2 diamonds? So yeah,
there are 2 diamonds on the flop.
So you get to charge those the maximum
right
at the same time. You have the jack of diamonds, which makes that a little bit less of a thing, but still. Ooh, it's weird, but based on all of the profiling, I think jamming is absolutely the play here. I think it 100% has to be what you do.
That's 100% what I did. I jammed thinking like, I think like, I don't know if a 10 is calling me or not. Like, I'm not sure. A 10 might absolutely fold when the queen comes and I jam. Like, I don't know, but maybe it's going to call. It's a little mergy. Sometimes a queen might fold because it looks strong. I don't know if these guys are really folding a queen, honestly, but maybe.
I mean, if the fun player calls with a draw and the big blind somehow has a queen, he's probably folding a queen, and then you're in like an elite spot. You're in the best rarefied air. It's amazing.
It'd be amazing. Yeah. And maybe the fun player calls even with like ace 10 or something once in a while, and then it folds out the other guy. But also, sort of to your point, I'm trying to shut out all the equity as well, rather than just basically give them a free shot at their equity because it's only 6K and I'm just letting them do it, right? So
and you have outs against everything except for king jack. So
exactly. Yeah. So I just moved in, and they folded relatively quickly. The big blind thought for like 45 seconds, and as he folded, he said, "I don't know if I'm ahead or behind right now." And I said, "I don't know either." After as his cards,
I think he wanted a call. I think he wanted a call from that guy.
Yeah,
is my guess.
I think so too. I think he probably just had like king 10 or ace 10 or something.
Yeah.
But whatever it was, and I took it down, and it was a weird way to play it, but I was cool that you came to that same thing that I came to in game of like, I think jam is best here now that it's 6K and a call. If the guy bet bigger, I wouldn't have jammed, you know?
Yeah.
But 6K felt like the board's too wet for them to be able to have a strong made hand here and not protect it more, I think. I think their instinct would be to protect it more almost always.
I love that hand. I love doing like the classic like figure it out tournament exploit stuff that like you can justify all of it, and it really makes sense to me. I like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this is the last hand we're doing from this tournament, I guess. So I guess the people need a story. So how did the tournament end up? We got to know.
Oh, well, not great. I got it. The 2 things that happened that were not great really was I got it in with ace king against ace queen on the flop, on a 6-high flop, and immediately was behind once the queen hit the turn.
Nice.
Right after all the chips went in. And then later on, the fun player opened, the big blind called, the same guys, much later on when I'm down to like 19 blinds. I moved in with queens from the big blind. The fun player had ace king suited, and we were out. So that's it. I may have more stories. I'm probably going to re-enter this tournament and play again tomorrow. So
okay,
maybe I'll have more stories with these wonderful, wonderful people.
But the fun player probably won't be at your table. So
I know. I'm sad about it. His name's Phil, and he was seemingly a very nice guy. Just really going for it all the time.
Well, salute to Phil. Walk off into the sunset. You've provided us with good table talk stuff to talk about. So appreciate that, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Tired of being tired of being sick. In my head 24/7, how I'm supposed to pay the rent. Mr. Practice, I don't play. Friday nights we on the bench, trying to come up with a play. If it don't work, then hit a lick. 12 knocking at my door, praying ain't tell. I'm studying her word prayer. Baby excel, got away with way too much. Should've got expelled, but the school saw my potential. Smart kid trying to rebel.